Don't feel nobody, I'm rocking, feel God. Can't rob a two cause I ain't feeling God. I made a bet Jesus could be the odds. He can shine through me cause I'm the son of God.
Phemy,
Hey,
how you doing today?
feeling amazing. How are you?
I'm blessed. You know, this was a meeting long overdue. I'm excited.
Facts.
I'm excited because seeing you on social media, you know, having the conversation that we did prior to you coming on, I've gotten a taste of your mindset, who you are as a person, what you stand for. And you actually mentioned one thing that was interesting to me because you categorize a lot of different industries into one main industry or one main facet, which is digital entrepreneur. How do you make an income, make a living for yourself, or do all these things in these different industries as a digital entrepreneur? Because you mentioned you trade, you mentioned you're in marketing, you mentioned you do content. That's a lot to manage by yourself. Do you have a team? Drop some gems on just you as a digital entrepreneur, what that is like, how you help people, and then I'll see how to have the conversation.
Fire. Well, first of all, grateful for you, grateful for this, and just the open space that you have to allow people to learn, to grow, and see different perspectives and get value. So digital entrepreneurship, honestly, it just has to do with online skill sets, basically. All the things that you mentioned, they are all things online. Can you do them in person? Can you meet up? Can you have a team? Yes, you can, of course. So digital entrepreneurship is really the ability to have skill sets that gives you all freedom in all aspects, right? And a lot of people say freedom are, it's different things, but
What is freedom for you?
freedom is the ability to do what you want when you want without answering to anyone. Freedom is also to me being a whole person, right? And in the aspect of not having to dim and not know a part of yourself because you're stressed, or because I can't live this way because I have to do this. And it's kind of like an entrapment, our world and how we've grown up, our society, our programming, school, the whole nine. But really, to have freedom is the ability to have time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. I don't think freedom is necessarily tied to just money. Money is important. It's up there. With oxygen, for those that don't know. But
it's definitely a part of freedom that you need to have to kind of make the whole puzzle whole.
To make the whole thing work. Yeah. So it really does give me the ability to do a lot, and not even just for myself. Yes, I do trade. I'm also a crypto trader and investor. And also do content. But that all comes together because it allows me to reach an audience, right? People that are ambitious, hungry, people, the old me's, right? Because I remember always being intrigued, always ready to learn, always ready to grow, and never having a how, never really having a blueprint, never really having people like, oh, you want to learn this? Oh, wow, like you're interested? Wow, you're willing to do the work? Come on, I got you.
So you never had that?
Where? You know what I mean? And if it was something like that, it was kind of like a facade in a way. It was kind of selfish, or kind of something like of status, like, oh yeah, I want to look like I'm helping, or
got you.
I'm gonna give you just enough though, but not enough for you to surpass me or succeed or really do anything big, but enough to feel like you're doing something.
Got you. So let's back things up before you continue on digital entrepreneur and you move forward with that. You mentioned the old you. Did you always see yourself specifically as a digital entrepreneur? Was that fairly recent in your journey? Did you see yourself as an entrepreneur since you were younger? Like, how was that for you growing up?
Actually, no.
What did you want to do like before all this? Like a doctor? I know you're Haitian. You know how that goes for the most part.
On the head. If you know, you know. My mom, like, wow, like, like you're so smart, you're so intelligent. You love to help people. Be a doctor.
Yo, I feel like they all have the same script. Everybody who's Haitian, whose family came here from Haiti recently, or they're the first, second, third generation, Same script.
Medical.
Same childhood.
If it's not doctor, okay, yeah, nurse. You like to help people. You're smart. You can do that. So doctor was embedded in my head from a very young age, you know. And I grew up watching my mom be a nurse. And so I was like, okay, you know, if I'm a doctor, I could make more than her and help her more, you know. And kind of just like filled the script that they gave me. And then I remember when I was applying for college and I made it into FAU, and I was so excited because, you know, like I always had the whole dream, like college, campus, the whole nine. And then when I went into when they have you know, let you walk around, let you meet people,
the orientation,
yeah, and just the requirements and all the things that they were listing, and I'm like, do I really want to give another like 10 years of my life?
Yeah, it's a lot.
I've already been to school so many. I already graduated from Palm Beach State. I did a AA in biology, and I already like did that whole program. And on top of that too, I was already working in a field. So I went to Park Vista High School, and it's like a kind of like a magnet program. So, you know, they give you licenses. So, you know, right out of high school, like I was pretty good. Like I had an EKG license, a PCA license, a CNA license, a HHA license.
So you had So you was on the track for the the statistical Asian child that followed the.
You know, I was like, yeah, like, you know, and I found like the leeway. It's like, okay, I don't have to make you spend money. Like, you know, the school gave me everything. And I also did dual enrollment. So dual enrollment is so by 10th, 11th, I was already taking college classes. So, you know, like I was already well set. So, but that's a lot of school though. Like,
so in all this, you still never saw business, entrepreneurship, or anything at all, even after getting your AA.
No, I really saw it. Like, I really believed in the American dream,
which was for at that time.
Right.
What was the American dream for you then versus what is it now for you?
Well, then it was, you're gonna go to school, you're gonna do something that you enjoy to do, and then you're gonna get this degree, and the degree's gonna guarantee you a job.
Yeah.
And then 401k, picket fence, and move your way up.
401k. I never heard anybody say 401k, but yeah, that's true. That's true.
But that's always like the end of the topic. Like when I'm talking to teachers and professors at school, well, you want a good job, and on top of that, think about the 401k, your retirement. That was always embedded in there. So I'm like, okay, you know. And honestly, my mom always said, Phemy, education is going to get you in the room. Phemy, education is going to get you success. Phemy, education is going to make people take you seriously.
Which is true. You
know what I mean? But, you know, me, I'm like, okay, like I took it all the way. I'm like, all right, cool. I put myself through school. Like I did not do any student loans, all like scholarships. Scholarships.
It's fire.
Like literally, because you know, doing the research, hearing people in debt, I'm like, I don't do that to my mom, because like we're no stranger to struggle, and I've watched her do and sacrifice so much. So it's like, let me see how I can help, you know.
Yeah.
So that was the American dream. And then by the time I got my second degree, I realized it was false.
How so? Like, what about it was false in a way?
Because they don't. I feel like how society projects, like the whole get a job, do the thing, it's something that used to work years ago, right?
It worked. I ain't gonna lie, because my parents got the house. You see, other people got the house worth millions. Yeah, it worked.
But if we look at the economy then, how much a house cost then, and now, it's a setup, because the average person has to have 2-3 jobs just to be break even, not even have more than enough. So
I like that you said that it shifted for you, because nobody ever gave that perspective, because as society changed, tech advancement happens, all these things happen, but the dream still stayed the same.
Exactly. And doesn't that sound familiar to inflation?
To what?
Inflation. Prices going up, gas going up, eggs going up, but everybody still has the same pay. Yeah,
that's true. They didn't put 2 and 2 together. They didn't put the pay versus how it was then, and then how it is now and expect us to do the same thing that was then which was just that one avenue, that one stream of income. Now you need 3 and your auntie to even buy a house.
I'm telling you, and it's funny because think about it. We have multiple streams of bills, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't we need multiple streams of income?
I like that. I like that. We have bills in each avenue, but why won't we?
And on top of subscriptions, on top of the lifestyle, on top of the things that we want to do and enjoy, not even the bare minimum. So if we have multiple things that we love to do, that we need to do, that we have to keep up with, it makes sense. And I feel like that aspect was never included in No American Dream.
Not at all. Not at all.
No, what do you mean? Like you said. And it's funny because I don't quite know it verbatim. But if you actually look at the full quote of the whole jack of all trades, it goes deeper. Like, yeah. It goes deeper because people just think like, okay, well, that means, I'm not supposed to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, but society is always changing. Things are always growing. So why would it just be the same for you to do the same exact thing over all of the years? And I think, again, of course, I get it. It's a upbringing. That's why I tell people all the time, we're programmed.
Yeah.
You're programmed. I'm programmed. We are all conditioned in a certain way. And a major way of that was, follow the American dream. Honestly, now I wouldn't even call it like the American dream. I just think that the actual way for anyone to live a life of purpose and passion is to seek wholeness. You can be successful in all areas of your life. You can have whole life success.
What do you mean by whole life success?
So,
like, of course, people say just being happy, seek love, seek happiness in that sense. Is that what you mean by wholeness, or what is your definition of that?
No. Wholeness is in everything, like mind, body, and spirit, but also to what you want. People settle. Okay, I went to school. I have, I did the education thing, and I have an alright job. Okay, like maybe what's your dream car? What's your dream car?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Audi R8.
Okay. Stop being my tool.
Yeah, Audi R8. Audi R8. Yeah.
That's dope. Mine's too.
Yeah.
The sports version.
Yeah. We got to. If it's a dream car, why would you get stock? Why would your dream car be a Mercedes C-Class but not 4MATIC? Like you feel me? Like, don't sell yourself short.
Talk to him. Exactly. So people will have outside circumstances, and in real life, it's not to say that real life doesn't happen and things don't happen. You don't have to adjust and pivot, but you can not reach your goals and dreams and things for legitimate excuses. And so going back to what we were talking about, like, people settle. You know what? Okay, maybe it is okay that I'm making $50K. I can't be too greedy. I can't ask for too much. Maybe it is okay if I just go for the Toyota. That's all right. Right? Because there's a tendency that society gives, like, don't be too greedy, be grateful, like, don't ask for more. Like, listen, especially too in the space that I'm in, like, my mentor always tells me, Phemy, don't let people make you feel bad for wanting more and for being wealthy, because there's a programming to think that, oh no, you're good right here. You can't have everything, so just pick this. It's all right. But you can have everything.
Yeah.
It's gonna take work. It's not gonna be easy, but I think it's gonna be worth every single minute. What's the point of living life if you're not doing it in an intense, purposeful manner?
You said intense, purposeful manner. Most people are ready to be for intense or to even be purposeful. Like, there was this one time I was motivating this group of people, or, not as if I was training them or not. We were just doing the same thing, and I just turned into a motivation mic where I was like, yeah, do it, come on, let's go. Like, but I was part of it doing it. I was just putting the energy out there. They was like, shut up, not everybody likes that. I'm like, whoa, not everybody likes motivation. I mean, I get if you had trauma and it reminds you of the trauma. Okay, my apologies, but you see we're doing something. You see it's physical or in that regards, and I'm trying to get the energy moving. You said not everybody likes that. I don't want to be in that room where nobody likes that.
So, I completely agree with the concept and the goal that you had, for sure. Motivation is fleeting, and a lot of people, they are trapped in this loop of, I'm gonna do this, be motivated for the day, be motivated for the minute, and then go right back down to the same mindset, the same process, don't really do anything. And what people need to understand is, like, self-motivation is what you need. Like, I'm not saying motivation is not important. It's not.
Self-motivation is what you need.
Because your circumstances should be motivation enough. Where you are in life should be motivational enough. The fact that you're not happy with whatever's going on, whether it's your job, your life, your home, yourself, your conversation with yourself, that should be enough. Why is the determination of how urgent things are based upon someone pumping you up?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But we need that because of us being humans. We need connection. You know, we do need encouragement. Like, it's one of the, I feel like, honestly, like, people sleep on encouragement, and they should do it more often, but it should be inspiration. Somebody should inspire you. Someone should just light the fire that's already in you, not give you the fire. I listened to Jim Rohn, and I love something that he says. He's just like, a lot of people go in and they get motivated, right? But if they are already in a certain way, they're already an idiot. They're just a motivated idiot.
Jesus.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but he's like, give me the person that has all the emotions in the world, the person that gets angry, the person that snaps, because they have feeling, they have passion. Someone doesn't have to activate them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So people, I feel like, when they're like, stop, not everybody likes that, because they've been motivated for so long, but they haven't done nothing. So now it's just like, it's an enemy. Nobody needs that motivational stuff. No, you just need to get into the root of what's making you not do the thing that you want to do. What is it? You can't be mad at people motivating you, but motivation is needed, right? But it's needed daily, though, like all the time, you know. But you don't want to rely on that.
I mean, I don't agree with that. Even though I do agree with you need it every day, but the reason why I say I don't agree with that is it's impossible to have motivation every day. Because there are, like, do you have it where some days you try to get motivated, but you can't get motivated at all, but you still do what you need to do?
Yeah, that's discipline.
Got you.
That's discipline. And that's why, and when I say that you need it every day, because, again, like, from the beginning, I think it's inspiration. I think that's what people need to focus on, like being inspired and kind of just like being rejuvenated. But to be rejuvenated, you already have to have something there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I do agree, but that's where discipline comes in. And discipline is freedom. Because if you're disciplined, you can do all the things that you want to do. You know? But
discipline is freedom.
Discipline is freedom. If you're disciplined enough for a season and time of your life to do what you have to do, long after the feeling of doing it is gone, and you get to your goal, you get to what you want to do.
Do you believe that freedom is also boredom?
Boredom as in boring?
Boredom, like boring, just in general, just the state of bored.
So, if you asked me this a few months ago, my answer would have been different. But where I am now and the growth that I'm having now, well, I'm going to quote my mentor, Alex Morton. Success
Alex who?
Alex Morton.
Okay.
Success is in the boring.
Okay.
Yeah. But a long time ago, I probably would have been like, no, like, what are you talking about? Boring. Like spontaneous and life and But for you to build a habit, for you to build discipline, it takes a consistent, you gotta stay at it until it becomes subconsciously
Oh
competent.
man, and that's the hardest thing, because it's, you don't know how to make something subconscious until it then becomes subconscious for you. That's what I feel like. I feel like sometimes, like some avenues, you learn the habits and triggers to make things subconscious, but when you're treading in new territory, it's almost like you got to immerse yourself into it so it can be subconscious. But I see a lot of people struggling with that, but they never want to immerse themselves with whatever they're trying to make subconscious, whether it's an industry they want to learn and master or know enough of to go to the next, or you name it. Like, they never want to immerse themselves. They just want to treat it as an interest, do what they do, and when the results are not showing up, they move on to the next thing.
And that's why the results always tell the truth. And there's so much I want to say to that.
Go ahead. We got time.
I think what it is that they don't do it long enough, and they don't want to surrender, because surrender is going to require them to tap into a part of themselves that they've probably been ignoring or lying about.
When you say we're going to get into ignoring, wait, you said surrender and what?
Surrendering, and they have to tap into a version of themselves that they probably have not faced. They probably have been just lying about it, brushing it under the rug, pretending that it's not there. Because think about it, in anything that you do, right, you have to be a student. You have to be a student to master it, for it to be subconscious. You have to be a student, and to be a student is immersing yourself in it, is surrendering. But people, they fight with that. So they'll start the consistency, it'll be going great, and then maybe after a year, 2 years, or even a few months, they're like, it's not happening the way I want it to happen. You know what? Let me put my sauce in it. You can't put your sauce into anything that you have not mastered. With anything, whatever you're learning, do not reinvent the wheel.
Okay, yeah, that's true, because that's one of the lessons that I learned being a realtor. And I made the mistake of trying to be creative and then trying to implement the wheel, which is something that they already put in place for me to follow and do it in the reverse way. And I would have saved so much time. It would have saved so much headache. Probably would have made a couple more change, But
all road leads to real estate.
I mean, I use a realtor as a stepping stone into something else, into investing. But yeah, that ship is sailed. But that realtor business is still there, but only as an overseer. That as a footman.
You've placed yourself in the real estate industry.
Yes, I know what I wanted from the beginning. So that wasn't it. So I knew that wasn't it. It was good. But just don't reinvent the wheel, man. Why? It's gonna cause you headache, bro.
Why? You know what I mean? Like, and I think that is what people don't want to face. And sometimes, like, they'll continue to do the thing, consistency, build the habits, and then when it's not working, right? And instead of admitting that, like, dang, I should never just reinvented the wheel. I should have just followed, right? Because focus, it stands for follow one course until successful. So they didn't do that. And then when they realized it, they don't admit it. And then they're like, you know what? Like, they find a way to justify or, be like, you know what? That thing didn't work, or that mentor didn't work, or that person didn't work. No, baby, the work works. You didn't work. So it's really just being honest with yourself. And I feel like a lot of times obviously there's a lot of things that play into hand with this, but I think one of the biggest things on why it's hard for people, they're not integral with themselves.
Integral. What do you mean by integral?
They don't have self-integrity. The worst thing you can do is be disloyal to yourself.
But how do you, like, I learned these two things, authenticity and integrity. How do you build integrity if it was never taught to you by your parents or anything? Like, your parents teach you manners, They teach you all these things, and they teach you these life lessons morally. And of course, the Bible teaches you, like, that's another avenue I can go on. The Bible taught me integrity. But for somebody who doesn't know the Bible, or somebody who doesn't know these things, how can they learn integrity just in general?
By paying attention to the patterns, because you're going to keep relearning and keep going through the same thing in different ways until you learn the lesson, until you see like, what am I doing, until you take that time to step back and be like, okay, let me look at the results, right? So there's this thing that I teach. It's called TIER, and it's from Bob Proctor. And it's thoughts create emotions, emotions create actions, actions create results. If you don't like something, or you don't understand why something's not working out, or you're just in a rut, so to say, you look at your results, right? You look at what happened, and then you look at the actions you took. Why did I do that? Like, why did that happen? Why didn't it turn out the way that I wanted? Okay, cool. How are you feeling? Because our emotions make us take actions, and sometimes we're not conscious of it, but subconsciously we just out here.
So the lack of integrity comes in when you are in a reactive state all the time, when you're not taking your time to respond. That's when you have true integrity.
Exactly.
And that's where character comes in.
Or not even knowing yourself, because with integrity, it really starts with this: telling yourself that you're going to do something, you say it, and you don't do it. So now what you do, your body, your mind, and your spirit's out of alignment, and your mind doesn't take you seriously. Oh yeah, she's going to go to the gym 5 times a day. You tell yourself that. And every time the alarm rings...
5 times a day is crazy.
It's possible.
I know, but 5 times a day I had to say that. Like, damn, I'm thinking about, like, 5 times a day is crazy.
But when you get that habit, it's just like, it's automatic.
Yeah,
you know?
that is true. But damn, you sore, man. You can't walk.
No, facts. Yeah. That's why stretching and sauna is like my best friend.
Facts. Right. And I love what you were saying about integrity. And one thought that came to mind is, you can't have authenticity without integrity, because if you're not conscious when you're being too reactive, you make the wrong decisions. But the reason why I say authenticity too is because you need to know yourself. You need to be conscious of these habits, who you are, what you stand for, because authenticity comes in when, and I forgot if I talked about this on the podcast or off the record. I don't remember. It basically said, your authenticity truly shows in your opinions. Was it with you that I had that conversation with?
Maybe.
I don't know. It's like authenticity shows when...
we were... Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it shows when you have... I don't know if you told that to me, or... But I don't know. I think it was you. So I'm gonna give you the credit if that was you, if I'm being honest.
I'm gonna tell... Because remember... So we were talking about a lot of things. We were talking about, like, health, Rebecca, and one of the things that I learned from, like, going to events, and authenticity is the highest form of vibration. Like, it can go through walls, and I think that's somewhere around the lines that where we started, and it was like, why? You know what I mean? But when you're authentic, like, you are okay with admitting to yourself that, all right, I need to tighten up.
Yeah, and it truly shows, like, when you have those thoughts, like, I need to tighten up, because you're having those honest things on who you are and what you're standing for and what you're doing wrong, and that you need to fix it. But it also shows in conversations how people can feel your authenticity, because you say an opinion or you say something and I'm like, I don't agree with you. And if something else like, it's pretty much, you're not conforming yourself to the person that you're around. Like, if you say something
or the situation.
So imagine this. You say you like coffee. I say, I love coffee. But then the next day, somebody says, I hate coffee. Oh yeah, I hate coffee. Coffee is disgusting. You're not authentic. True authenticity comes in when you told that other person, hey, I like coffee, and the next day nothing happened for you to change that opinion. Of course, they said that they don't like coffee. You're like, I don't know what you're talking about. I love coffee. Coffee does this for me. That's authenticity, and it shows up not in just opinions, but in who you are, what you stand for, all these different things. If you're constantly changing it, how are you authentic? How do you have integrity? How do you have discipline, first and foremost, to focus on one thing?
Yeah. No, that's good. And while you were saying that, the first thing I thought about was someone listening to that and saying, well, what if I'm trying to figure myself out? Like, it's okay to figure yourself out. It's okay to, you used to like this, but you don't like this. But the core characteristics of who you are, that's the authenticity that is always there. And it does always show. And you know how some people be like, I don't know, like I have a feeling like he capping.
Yeah, you definitely feel their aura that it's like it's fake.
Your intuition.
Yeah.
Intuition is a higher faculty.
I call intuition the Holy Spirit. Holy
It
Spirit,
is.
It
is. Some people want to call it vibe, energy. It's all one, it's all the same thing. And it is. Because that's all knowing, all power. Like, so when you do feel those things, like, that is telling you the authenticity, like the vibration, the energy of the room. Like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I'm gonna just pray my way out.
Facts. And that's why I tell people too, like, I'm not ever like ready to take sides, because your intuition, it tells you. Listen, when we go places and I'm like talking to, like, my new business partners or my new students, I always let them know, I'm like, make sure that you're doing the work behind closed doors. And it's not just like when we go to an event or we go somewhere, you're this person, right? Because at one point in time in your career, in anything that you do need to create the role. You do need to act as if. But it's not you lying to yourself. It's not you not being authentic, but it's you just waiting for it to catch up. So I always tell them, your energy introduces you before your mouth does. So make sure you're doing the work, because like you said, someone could say something. But listen, especially people that are very intuitive, people that think what they think about, they're aware of people that are not really in tune with their consciousness, in tune with their authenticity. Because you can tell, you know what I mean? You can really tell, for real.
That's fire. Your energy speaks before you even say a word. I like that you said that.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Think about when you step into a room, when you go somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. Because many times when I restrict my energy, even I feel it in the room. The room is shifted differently. Not saying that my energy shifts the room or anything prideful or anything like that, but chill out. Humbly. But I'm saying, like, your energy does have impact, like your spirit, who you are, what you carry, whether it's your joy, your excitement, your love, your hate, and anything. And the right person can sense that, and you might miss a play. You might miss an opportunity.
And you know what's funny? Because this morning, so we have these mindset calls that my mentor does on YouTube for free. It's called Mornings with Neno. And this morning, he was saying, he was talking about moving with excellence. And in that, he was saying the way that you dress how you want to be addressed, right? And if you go in a room and you may think that you look nice, but you probably aren't, up to par with what the environment is. Most people, let's say in regards of business, right? You go in a business setting, business room and everything like that. And there are millionaires and billionaires in the room, and you don't know who's who, right?
Yeah, it could be the most casual person.
You know what I mean? But because of how you step in the room, your energy, and how you dress, that already tells them, okay, cool, we ain't talking to that cat. Came in here with a t-shirt and some jeans. Why would I, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would I take this person seriously? And I love that
really, but even the millionaires sometimes wear t-shirts and jeans.
Yes, for sure. And that's why I said depending on the setting. And
if you dress too cat, okay, I see.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But honestly, anywhere, like, yes, that is a factor. But if you are attracting particular people, or you have a certain idea of what you want in life, the standards should match how you dress and how you present yourself. Because, perfect example, me, like, if I'm in a room or I already know who I want to talk to and who I will not talk to, right? When it comes to business or when it comes to that, just because of body language and how you present yourself. Because if you don't take something as simple as, like, he called it, what did he call it? Disrespecting the room. Disrespecting the room. And not in the sense of, like, because I don't want people to take this like, oh, because we're better or someone's better than you. No, it's not that. But everyone's at a different standard. And when you're moving with excellence, you're doing it in all areas of your life.
How do you do that when there's this saying called a wolf in sheep's clothing? Because that came into my mind because somebody can look the part but not be the part. Much like how, like, not saying if they have all the fancy stuff and this, that, and third, even if they're in the setting. Like, what if they're a wolf in sheep's clothing? Like, in general, what if they look the part but they don't have it? But what if somebody who doesn't look the part is the one person that you really need to connect yourself with? That I feel like that's why you still need to still take into consideration all these things. I'm not negating that. Like, that plays a big role. But this is where you lead with your gut, with your intuition, with the Holy Spirit. Because when you're in certain rooms, like at first I hated small talk. I don't know if I told you this. I love and hate networking events because, yeah, you meet people, you talk to these and build new connections, but it's a lot of that cheesy, hey, how are you? Hey, my name is this. Hey, my name is that. Don't get me wrong. If you're doing speed networking, you know sometimes it's set for that particular purpose. Right. But I don't like it when it's like that all the time. I just let either the people come to me or I posture my heart, I posture myself in a way where I'm coming to them, but they're coming to me, and it's like a relationship in that type of way.
100%, and I believe that you can't do that if you aren't working on yourself, if you aren't growing, if you aren't learning, if you aren't sharpening your intuition, your authenticity, your mindset, because you're going to attract what you are. You're going to attract what you are at all times.
But if you don't know it, how will it know you?
Exactly. But that's why
that just came in my head. I was like,
listen, but it's real though, and I love that you said that about the intuition. And that was gonna be my answer. Yes, it's okay if there's a wolf in sheep clothing, because at the end of the day, if you're aligned with your intuition and your authenticity, and you know your values, you know what you won't let slide, you know what you're not okay with, and you know what you accept. So there's something that one of my mentors, KD, he says, when he's telling people, he's like, look, like I'm not trying to tell you how to live your life, but if you are wanting what I have, do as I say, and say what I say, until you find out I'm lying. So until you find that
that's creative. Until you find out I'm lying.
Yeah, until you find out I'm lying. Like, until you find out everything that I'm telling you, it's just, it don't work. You know what I mean? But I think that you could take that concept and put it in a little bit of everything. What's up?
Man, that is true. And I wanted to add on to that because many times people assume somebody's lying because they didn't fully follow the rubric.
So good.
Because, like, somebody's mentoring me in something, right? And I'm executing on that action, right? Yeah. Even though he guided me to make the decision, of course, I don't have the discernment that he has from the mistakes he made. And sometimes it is going to take you the mistakes so you can learn how to avoid that. But if you don't, you're going to mess up. And you can't let that mess up deem that as incorrect information. Maybe just try again. Be consistent, be extra conservative, just so you can see the trend that it works. And then after I made the mistake, I lost a lot. But then I just, you know what? It's because I was doing this. I had this wrong. I had this wrong intention. I had this wrong mindset. And then when I just fixed that and just played dumb, I followed mindlessly, and followed is a key word. I followed mindlessly, and when I just followed mindlessly, didn't pay attention to my emotions or my feelings, and acted as a soldier, then that's when I was like, okay, this is fruitful. This money's coming. I'm hitting. I'm smacking. But
so good.
If you can't follow mindlessly, and if you don't know how to follow mindlessly, which is hard to some degree, some environments, like I'm even still learning how to follow in church. But when you learn how to follow mindlessly, And of course, it's going to take grace and the Holy Spirit and God to bless you to not be taken advantage of when you're following mindlessly. You will see the things become fruitful. And then you will then have the discernment when it's time for, when those moments do come where your emotions try to come in the way, or you try to make this other decision and stray away from following. But now you learn by either seeing from other people or just learning the lingo and learning the game in itself by you following it and then holding back, being conservative. But then what you felt was coming happened, and you almost fell into that mess up. But following is hard, bro.
Choose your heart.
Jesus. But if you never experience that, man, it's like, bro, I'm saying that from the heart, from personal experience. Oh man,
I feel it, and
I made a lot of mistakes, man. Jesus.
We need to, like, success is a moving target. It's never something where it's like, okay, I made it. No, it's always like, okay, what's next? Okay, what's next? Because there's so many factors that go into play. Like, I'm literally gonna go backwards and hit everything you said. So exactly what you started with that, like, you have to choose your heart. Like, because at the end of the day, life is fair to everybody because it's unfair to everybody. So
say that again. I like that. Hold on.
Life is fair to everybody because it's unfair to everybody. So knowing that, it's like, all right, but I might as well just do the hard thing to get to where I want, even though it's hard, because if I don't do anything, it's gonna be hard all the way, and I'm never gonna, see gold. Like, nothing's ever gonna happen. Yeah. So I might as well go do this way. And then going to the next thing you said, childlike curiosity. And there's a verse in the Bible that says that, like, why aren't we curious like children, right? Because think about how fearless children are.
Bro, they will step off of some stairs like a ledge, bro,
and get up giggling.
No, they end up crying because they hurt, and then end up
giggling. But
all the boys.
But even shade, y'all heard that, ladies? Okay, but even then, like, even when they do get hurt, they get up and they do it again as if it never happened.
That is true.
So two things with that. Like, what if we did that and in spite of, like, our mistakes? What if we just got up again and just, all right, cool. Two people become like, they just become like hindered where they are. Like, they get stuck because it's like, oh, I made a mistake. What if this happens? And then they keep, like, literally, if you guys don't know what this is, worrying, when you worry and you have all these scenarios that never happen or are never likely to happen, you're negatively goal setting. Okay? So if you do make a mistake, you got to keep going, because all you have to do is just follow the pattern of everything. Look at the greats. There's not one great, whether it's in the Bible or whether it's in business or whether it's in any type of industry. If they're great, if they're elite, they will tell you countlessly how many times they fail. You have to fail your way to success and your goals.
Been homeless. And we're not telling you to force yourself to be homeless, but like they've been in circumstances that wasn't their intention. Exactly. And that's the thing, that wasn't their intention, but they still pushed because of their intention. Exactly.
Because at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, outside circumstances, you cannot allow that to dictate your life. So the last few months, has been fairly difficult for my family and my daughter's father, because there's been a lot of death, right? And not a lot of people knew what was happening, because, one, it's not something where I'm just like, oh, like, I can't do this because there's a death in the family. No. But when people are like, wow, like, you're still showing up, you're doing events, like, you're traveling and you went through all that, like, there's a point in time, like, since the summer until now, it's been nothing but challenges. But
this year,
a car ran into my house.
I
had 4 deaths back to back. The Lord is testing to see, will you still be salt and light even though I throw life at you?
Yo, salt. Speaking, if you are salt and life, when life is throwing at you, like, sometimes you can see how easy you fall when things go wrong that wasn't your intention. Like going back to that, like there was this one thing, like my car had a flat tire, so I borrowed my mother's car to go to the gym. Okay. It was pre-hurricane, flood. She had a Jeep, so I'm thinking I can go through like a decent puddle with the Jeep. I drove. The car left me. The car was with God and the Holy Spirit. The car died, and then but I got out the car cussing, and I don't like cussing, and I even rebuke other people from cussing around me. But it's because when I went through something that was not, I wouldn't say it's traumatic, but was like a damn moment. I'm like, yo, I was like, F. I was just like, oh my goodness, oh my god, like I was cussing, but then after that, I was like, oh my god, I shouldn't have cussed. But you see,
yes,
how God tests you in many ways to see if you can still show your integrity.
Yes. So good.
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, like, man, like if you have that perspective, and I think that's why it's so important, like for people to be tapped in with their Bible, like no matter if they believe in it or not, like because I know people that are atheists that read the Bible, and you know what one said to me, because I asked him, I was like, oh, what's one of the books that help you be successful? And he was just like, the Bible. And I was like what? And I was like, you don't? He's like, no, I don't believe in God. I don't believe that stuff. But I've come to find out that the more I read it and I apply, it's logical steps and it works. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, if people can hear someone, like if people can hear that and really see, like, yo,
imagine if they had the Spirit, imagine if they had God, imagine if they had all that.
You feel me?
Now the grace, the anointing.
You feel me?
Will come in. Hey, amen. I'm about to stop praying, man. Hold on.
Listen, and one of the things,
that's
like,
funny.
Yeah. And one of the things I want to say before I continue what I was saying, Andre Butler, one of my business partners, and he's also a pastor. He said something so profound at the global conference event that I went to a few weeks ago. And he was just like, what's the point of reading the Bible if you don't meet the author? Because that's the point of the Bible. If you don't want to meet the author, if you don't have plans on doing that, then it's just a history book. I was like,
I need to have him come on the pod, man.
Oh yeah, I got you.
Let me know. Make it happen.
Bro, so powerful. So to that whole statement with the atheist in the Bible thing, but going back to being salt and light and really going through these things, because like I said earlier, whatever you don't deal with up hand, like it keeps happening until you learn the lesson, like until it becomes subconsciously competent, until it becomes something where it's like you're aware, you know what, I'm being tested. All right, let me step back. What do I need to do? How do I need to? It's a work in progress.
And that's where integrity comes in. But you won't know what you don't know until you end up knowing.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah.
You don't know what you don't know, and that's the first level of learning.
Yeah, the Bible helps you know. Mentors help you know. All these things help you know.
Yeah, and honestly, being aware helps you know, because you could keep going through the same thing, and if there's no awareness, it's just that's the rest of your life. That's why we see people that are in the same thing 40, 50, 60 years and still, playing victim mentality or still pointing fingers or still, because there was no awareness to take accountability and work on their integrity.
Yeah, that's facts. And all these things translates to you to have a successful life, business, family, venture, you name it. Wholeness. And, going back to you and everything. Yeah, wholeness.
For real. And that's why, and the thing is, because people love to correlate success to money, and I do my best to challenge everyone that I come across.
How?
View success as the definition that was given in Think and Grow Rich. Success is a progressive realization of a worthy ideal And I like to add my own thoughts to that, because think about God, right? We were all created. We didn't create ourselves, right? And God created us with his thoughts, his words, right? In the beginning, the word was with God, and the word was God. And even in the first verse of the Bible, in the beginning, God created X, Y, and Z. So if God created us with his thoughts and his words, and he keeps telling us, words are life and thoughts create your life and everything else in between, we are God's success. We are God's progressive, worthy ideal, because he had us in mind when he created us. Mm-hmm. So, and I feel like understanding whose you are and who you are, it really can help you navigate all the things that we're talking about. And it's not going to be easy. It never. If it was easy, we all would be very wealthy, healthy. Like, there would be no problems. It would basically be heaven on earth, right?
Yeah. I mean, we'll be overpopulated, but we'll probably find a way to, we'll probably find a way to like compensate for that if it's still perfect.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, look at your success as progressive. Look at it as something that you constantly you get to, right? Because I really believe that when you have a perspective shift and you operate out of gratitude, everything is different.
Yeah, that's facts.
Everything's different. Like how you see things, how you respond, and even in the moments and times where you want to react, you respond, right? Because those are two things I feel like a lot of people in our society have not mastered, because it's always reacting and be like, ooh, my bad.
Yeah.
Reacting and, maybe 2-4 days later, hey, I probably shouldn't have.
And that's good. You're learning. Most people wouldn't even do that. But
exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like with everything, even with the aspect of what we were talking about, the, staying the course and being, like you said, mindless, the childlike curiosity, right? And just doing it until it works. Because at the end of the day, like, if you don't keep going, you don't know what's around the corner. Mm-hmm. And I think that's with everything. So, like, just understanding that concept, that your success is not equate to just money. Your success is the fact that you won that moment when you should have probably responded this way. You did this. Like today, I was celebrating the small wins, like something simple. Like usually with certain things, like if I feel like I'm like overwhelmed and I'm not keeping up with my schedule, like I just start like just skipping my schedule. I'm like, you know what? Okay, let me do this because maybe I'll have time. Just the fact that I didn't do that today and I stuck to my schedule no matter what, I did the thing. Mm-hmm. I celebrated. That's a win. That's progressive. That's success.
Yeah.
All you got to do is stack those up.
That's success within the journey. Amen. And I used to not pay attention to the journey. And people make it sound cheesy, fall in love with the journey, this, that, and the third. And I get somebody who's coming from that perspective because I was there. Right. I can't say I was never like that. Like, I was that person I used to never give myself credit. But when I really started loving, like, hey, this with the podcast or this with that, or helping somebody see that and they're seeing the little things to fall in love with or the little wins that they win, like it's fire. And that gives you not just the motivation, but it gives you the fuel to your why, because you see the progress, you see the incremental things, and whether you're feeling bad, feeling low, you have that fuel to continue to be disciplined, because you need to have fuel to be disciplined.
Yeah, you do. You do need that.
Yeah.
And that's so good. I love that you said that, because it's not about the destination, right? There's a story that is in the book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. I think, I could be wrong, but that's the book that came to mind. But the story talks about this mentor and his student, and I guess something happened and he broke his leg and he couldn't participate in whatever the case is. He's like, hey, meet me at the bottom of this mountain, or whatever the case is. Like, I have a gift for you, right? So, you know, like with his you know, crutch and his cast or whatever, they're going up the mountain, like they're having a great conversation, they're talking about life, they're laughing, and they're in the moment, they're experiencing, you know what I mean? So they get to the top, and it's a beautiful view, and the student's like, okay, where's my gift? He's like, here you go. He's like,
yeah.
this is your gift. And then he was like, what do you mean? Like, you know, I thought you were gonna give me something. Like, I was so excited. I got up, da da da. But then he asked the student, well, think about the journey. Like, think about the hours it took for us to come up here. There was no thought in mind about the destination, about what the gift of. You were present. And when you miss that, you miss the moments to learn integrity. You miss the moments to learn in general, whatever it is that you need for where you're going. During
that journey, he didn't. I don't know. I didn't read the book, but from what I can assume,
it was a movie.
Huh?
I think it was a movie, but that book was on my mind and it just came out. But
yeah, from what I can assume, like during the conversation of him going up, not once did he mention the gift, or no? He was just having the conversation.
And he's like, when we get to the top, like I have a gift for you, but the view was there.
It's fire. Yeah, when you're on top, the view is beautiful. So follow the journey, but don't think about the view.
It's about the journey, not the destination, because you had a great time when you were present.
Definitely.
You got to see all the perspectives.
Definitely.
You know, and it's important. And I think that people shouldn't take that out of that process, because I remember one thing that you said where it's like, oh, you know, like, what if I do make a mistake, or what if this happens, and you stop wanting to follow the course because it's like you're overthinking and you're doing so much, and it's like, you know.
So with all this talk on the view, the journey, integrity, to wrap things up, out of everything, what would you say is that number one advice that you can give to somebody that can translate to life, to business, to finding oneself? You can say it again if what's that you said on the like earlier on the pod, or it can be something completely different. What is that number one advice?
Wow. There's so much, but
first one that comes to mind.
The first thing that comes to mind is it doesn't have to be done in a specific way. And when I say that, like, it doesn't have to be in the way that someone else did it, because you're for me in the beginning of my journey, like, it was always set on, okay, like, if I do it exactly this way, exactly what works for someone else won't work for you, and that's okay. But the goal is to never quit, because the moment you quit, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. So with that being said, you know, make sure that whatever it is that you want to do, whatever it is that you're after, just don't quit. But understand that if you really want to be a professional at it, if you really want to, like, reach that, you're going to pivot. You have to adjust. There's no other way around it.
Facts.
Okay? Professionals adjust. Amateurs stay the same, or they complain. So you choose, you know, what you want to do, but don't ever stop.
No, that's facts.
Yeah.
I like that.
Don't ever stop.
Don't ever stop, man.
For real.
Don't ever stop with all these tips.
You never know.
You never know. You never know.
You never know. That day that opens and everything happens for you. Life goes from 0 to 100. And it could have been the day you decided not to show up.
It'd be like that. You make the most the day you don't show up. The day you don't want to show up, but show up.
Exactly so.
At the end of the day, man, my name is Olivier J. Darcis. I'm with Phemy. Phemy. Yes, I'm saying it right.
Yeah.
And we're here helping you do to do life well. Peace.
Be great.
Hey, wait, if you like this episode, make sure to check out similar ones like this. I don't know which side is going to be on, but you pretty much get the idea. And if this episode helped you think better, perform on a higher level, and, be a little more confident, make sure you share this video with somebody that might need it, that might need that extra boost, and also hit the like button and hit the subscribe button, because I want to continue to see the impact that this platform, this podcast is having on the entire world. So make sure to check it out. Peace.